How do winos connect wirelessly?
Now,
Brown tooth. Oh man, is that bad?
That's
That's
politically
really
correct.
Oh man.
Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, dude.
Thank you, Tommy Chung. And we got a great show for you this week. We got Mike Reef.
I'm a monkey.
We got Craig Mitchell.
Yeah, it's like that old show, 10 Speed and Brown Tooth.
And I am John Ferrantino, and we are here every week, wherever you find your podcasts, and we're closing in on our 100th show.
100.
Wow, 100 shows.
I can't even count that
I
high.
can't even believe that. 100 hours of listening to us.
Of this bullshit.
I heard that they bought the tape for Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, they did.
So right now they're like prisoners in Guantanamo Bay going, what the fuck are those guys talking about?
Stop. Just stop and I'll confess. I'll confess.
Please,
John, John, how was your trip, man? You just got back from Nashville. You did
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah, I went to Nashville to do my seance.
Right.
And my seance show was hired for Halloween week.
Nice.
And I made it very Halloween. I go, welcome to House of Cards, where ghouls, goblins, and ghosts run randomly at the hall at night. And I did my show and ended the show with thank you for joining me on this theatrical journey. And then Ghostbusters started playing. And midweek, they came to me and said that basically that my show is banned in Nashville for being too real.
Banned in Nashville for being too real. Oh my God. I haven't seen this show, but I mean, I can't believe anyone would ban you for being too real.
I've seen the show. Didn't that the show that we with the thing and the thing falling off the hanger and
yeah,
I saw that.
Doesn't it say like this is entertainment? I mean, you're here for fun.
They say that about wrestling, but wrestling's real.
Apparently, look at my. You can't see that too. That's what I do. I make pancakes and know things.
And things I know.
I know things.
Craig, are you trying to say wrestling's not real, man?
I said wrestling's real, dude.
You're damn straight it's real, man. You damn straight.
I'm not damn straight, though. I am not damn straight.
No, you're not any kind of straight.
I don't really. Oh, geez. I
Ring
missed
the bell. Ring the bell,
man. The bell.
Sorry, John.
On the left side.
So you're too scary for Nashville is what you're saying.
Well, I don't know. I mean, apparently Nashville is the buckle of the Bible Belt.
It's the buckle.
And,
didn't a throng of people complain?
Yeah.
A throng.
2 out of 300.
Wait, how many is a throng?
A
2 out of
throng.
300.
So that's a throng. What is a throng?
That's 2 out of 300 is like 0.15%.
A throng is like one of those baitings that says just to strap up your butt. Oh, that's a thong.
Isn't a throng a sound effect that John Holmes' penis made? Throng. No, okay. He's not gay. He's straight.
He's dead.
He's dead.
But meanwhile, I mean, that's all I can really say about it because I didn't understand it myself. But
my show is normally a little too scary, but that's just because anyone who gets near me goes, "Oh man, that guy smells scary."
He is scary.
I just don't understand that. How could it's like
it's a Halloween show. I
think,
and then basically right after that, 2 days later, the Archbishop came out and begged
the Archbishop of Canterbury,
of Nashville, and begged that during the Halloween season not to try to contact the dead or use Ouija boards.
What?
Because it opens a door.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. It opens
the door. This is 2023 we're dealing with. So
let's. I mean, do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in spirits and all that? And you do the show. And I know in the beginning of the show I've seen it. You say you're a skeptic. So I mean, but do you believe?
This is what I believe. I believe that if somebody passed on, and you have a connection with that person, whether through a dream or you feel like they're in the room with you. Not to scare you. I'm not certainly going to be the one that says that that's not true because I've had some experiences like that myself. do I believe in these John Edwards? I do believe in psychics.
Right.
Like not all of them,
You
but
do?
I think that there are some psychics. Yeah, I went to a psychic in England.
Well, yeah. Well, you said John Edwards. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, not. I said not like John Edwards.
Okay, good.
I went to a psychic in England that told me everything about my life. They had no idea who I was, and when she was done, I said, "What do I owe you?" And she goes, "I can't take money for this." You know what I mean?
Wow.
I want to visit her. I really.
Well,
do.
I mean, I'm not going to mention.
And then gave me an audio tape of everything we talked about.
Yeah.
And she said, when you go home, and I played it for other comedians, and they were like, "Oh my god, it's definitely Bob Woods."
Yeah, I'm really skeptical about the whole visitation and whether you have a bond with somebody, because, I mean, Dick Butkus and I were really close mentally, and he hasn't shown up yet. So,
all right. Well, this is what the woman told me, and this is to keep in mind.
thanks, Mike.
What kind of name was Dick Butkus anyway?
I know.
Yeah, I really love that name.
The scariest name in football. But anyway, if this is the way the woman explained to me that if people have dreams of people that have passed on, and sometimes it's just that person that passed on to let you know that they're okay.
Right.
And she said that the difference between a dream and a visitation is most people forget about their dreams by 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but a visitation dream will stay with you for years and seem as real as the day that you had it.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I believe we're all made up of energy. So a spirit, I do believe in spirit, but it's not the way generally people believe in it. I don't believe
at the end of my
consciousness,
show,
it's just energy.
The end of my show, I go, we have to ask ourselves a question. Do spirits come back because they don't know they're dead? Do spirits come back to tell their story because of unfinished business?
They come back because they can't find their keys.
Or do
Or they're a sale at Kmart.
Or do spirits come back to give us hope? Although our physical body dies, our energy lives forever, which is basically what you're saying.
Going back to John Edwards, he used to say one thing. I used to watch his show. I'm sorry, I found it fascinating. I used to try to figure out what he was doing, and he basically he's throwing something against the wall. But what he used to say is like, okay, I see a relative to your side. Do you have a brother or sister or somebody who passed? And he goes, they're just here to say that they're okay. And I'm thinking to myself, what does okay mean? You're dead. You're in a spirit. What does okay mean? Does it mean I don't understand what the okay means?
It means that there's barbecue in the afterlife.
That's I hope okay, so. Man. That would be really okay.
Because I won't be okay. I won't be okay unless there's. Yeah.
Brian Reagan does a really funny bit about it.
Who?
He goes, Brian Reagan. He goes,
Reagan.
It comes out. He goes, I hate these psychics that go, oh yes, look, I see somebody. I see somebody. Did you have a brother, sister, mother? Did you ever know anyone that died?
A neighbor. You had a neighbor
that died.
He rode a train with people once, right?
He goes, yeah, my brother. Your brother died. Yes, I see he died of natural causes. He was hit in the face with a bazooka.
No, I'm seeing military.
He goes. I see he died of natural causes. And he goes, no, he was hit in the face with a bazooka. He goes, well, then naturally he would have died.
the bazooka was natural. It was made from non-GMO products.
Oh man,
yeah, it's very funny.
I used to watch him and just watch him. Please, he was just. I mean, my friend went to a taping of one of his shows, and he said, when the show went on the air, they showed him like talking to 3 people, and he was like, it looked like it was amazing, but he said the taping was actually 3 times longer, and he struck out more than he.
And Penn and Teller did a show. That show they have bullshit.
I love that show.
And they did a thing where they went to his show, and they had like a camera on their tie and a recorder.
Oh, yeah.
And he says that he thinks the whole waiting. First of all, he says the audience, they're never ready to go in. There's always a technical delay, and people are waiting in the hallway.
Right.
And they think that the hallway is totally mic'd.
And they're listening to what people are saying.
People going, I hope my Aunt Betty comes through.
Yeah.
There's
somebody out there who has gas. They have a lot of gas. I'm hearing a rumbling in it.
There's a rumble tumble. Somebody farted in the hallway.
Oh man!
It was your Uncle Steve. And
so, in all fairness, the club was very nice to me, and I did a TV show, which you can see on Facebook, to promote the event. And,
that was really good too.
I'm telling you, you're traveling. You're all over the place. I'm going to start a new show, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, with John Ferrantino. I mean. Fucking guy takes private
This show is
jets.
Valentino.
He's on private jets with billionaires. He's at
Wait.
fucking,
Where I'm going tomorrow is I'm actually going tomorrow night to the Waverly.
No,
you're gonna access. So you've been there before, though, haven't you? Or no? This will be the first time.
This is actually the first time.
Wow.
I've done so much research on it. I feel like I've been there. You know
Are
what
you
I mean?
bringing?
It's like
Are you bringing a camera and stuff? Are you gonna like?
Yeah. I got to get a picture of me outside it. But I'm doing the Waverly Seance about 3 blocks from the Waverly.
Mike, we have to be prepared. John may not be coming back.
Maybe
not in this. Maybe not in this form.
You've been messing with us for years now. You will not leave.
He might come back as a ghostly image of himself.
Dr. King is gonna friggin' grab your ass while you're there.
Dr. King, no relation.
Yeah. So where are you now? Where are you going now? You're going to.
I'm going to the
Waverly is in Kentucky, isn't it?
Paranormal Storytelling Convention.
It's in Kentucky, though, right?
You get banned from this too.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville. I'm going to.
Don't get banned.
I have on Friday night. I have to do my full comedy show,
right?
And then I have to do a lecture on Saturday, and then do my seance Saturday night.
Going to Louisville, Kentucky.
And Joe Silkey's on the show with me.
Really? So he's coming down?
Friend of the show, Joe Silkey. If you ever wondered,
I'm spending the weekend with him.
Joe Silkey invented magic. He's the inventor of magic.
How is Joe doing? We got to get Joe on the show.
He's been working on this trick for 3 years, and he finally got it figured out, where he can take a picture of you, either one of you, take a picture of you, and it's a Polaroid. Right. And when it develops, there's a ghost behind you. And then you can take another picture with it, and it's be just you.
So it's that modern technology, a Polaroid.
I don't know. Yeah.
You know, I this is way off.
I know Joe is kind of old, but
I saw this thing yesterday on TikTok, and it was talking about David Copperfield in 1984. Apparently, he floated across the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to disclose that, but
I have no idea how.
You really?
Nobody
knows how he did it.
Well,
absolutely no idea.
Was it like last year or the year before? I forget. Me and Patty went. We saw his show in Vegas. Man, he puts on a hell of a show. I mean, he's not a kid, but he still puts on a hell of a show.
That sounds so like.
He's doing a special after the first of the year where he's vanishing the moon.
Wow.
No, that's not like Sir Liberace. He puts on a hell of a show. He's quite the show.
Didn't they do that in that movie, Despicable Me? He stole the moon.
What a show.
They've been doing that since Felix the Cat. Gee, Mr. Felix, Master Cylinder's stolen the moon.
That's the wrong guy. But so you have no idea how he did that, and then he had made the Statue disappear.
But I will ask Joe Silkey this weekend for you because Joe figures.
Please do. He's the oracle. He knows.
He is. He's just so funny. It's funny. I saw this guy at a magic convention this last weekend, and he comes out and he goes, "I need somebody to give me a random number." Guy goes 4-digit number. The guy gives the 4-digit number. He goes, "Now anybody, tell me what their age is. I want everyone to take out their phones, put in the first number, put in the guy's age, multiply it. Now, has anybody here got a speeding ticket?" Guy
it's
goes,
a big complicated thing, right?
Wait, listen. He goes, "Anyone have a speeding ticket?" And the guy goes, "I did." He goes, "How many miles over the limit?" He goes, "Multiply that by 17. He goes, "What number do you have?" And he writes on a blackboard. He goes, "It's pretty ironic because the first 2 digits are 11. That's November. The second 2 digits are 06, which is today's date. Now, I all want you to look at the time on your phone, and it's 9:06.
Well, man.
How the
I go, how the fuck did it? So he goes, "It's an iPhone app."
What? Really?
He got an $80 iPhone app.
Oh man, that's crazy.
But it was just like that. He just goes, "Yeah, it's an iPhone app." You know, like, what are you, stupid?
It's like when I was a kid or a teenager, I used to watch Johnny Carson. I used to love when The Amazing Kreskin was on, and I used to try to figure out how he was doing what he was doing. And some of them you can actually figure out if you think.
I met Kreskin. And he shook my arm so many times I thought he was going to rip it out of the socket. He goes, "Tom Fortino, so glad to meet you. So glad to meet you." I'm like, all right, let go of my arm already. He's a little weird guy.
Dude, that's like he's little. He looks big on TV.
He's tiny.
I don't mean
He's
tiny.
tiny.
I don't mean big. Don't ring me.
He's tiny and skinny.
Tiny and skinny.
You know who almost broke my hand? Ernest Borgnine. He was staying in a hotel room next to us during an autograph convention. And I saw it when I went to shake his hand. He's like, this is a 90-year-old man. I think he crushed like 5 metacarpal bones in my
How
hand.
would you like to be Ernest Borgnine and be synonymous with ugly chicks?
Ugly chicks.
Why
Yeah,
would
people go, what'd she look like? She look like Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine. Hey, he must have been a pretty big dude. I mean, he came off as
No.
looking really wasn't
5'8", 5'9".
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. See now,
He
It
was
doesn't matter. He was powerful, man. Powerful at age 90. Holy shit.
It was McHale, right?
Yeah, Mikhail. And he was actually in room 973. And I go to
well, I
him,
mean, plus
hey,
all
they
his
gave you
movies is my-
No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying he was McHale with our buddy
McHale's
Sarah's
neighbor.
dad.
was in my favorite movie, man, The Wild Bunch. Are you kidding?
Yeah. And I said to him, you're in room 973. He goes, yeah. I go, well, you were on PT 73 on Mikhail's Navy. He goes, oh, yeah. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I made his day.
Remember, and Sarah Ballantyne, her dad was on that show.
Yep. Carl Ballantyne.
Carl Ballantyne, he was great on that show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So I'm getting ready. I want to go see some music, man. I'm gonna go see some live. What's you guys? I mean, what's your what kind of stuff do you listen to?
I'm stuck in a time warp.
I am too, man. I fucking don't think I've listened to any new music since like the mid '90s.
There's some new music I like. Like there's a really good rock band out. There's a throwback called Dirty Honey. They're really, really good and they're new.
Ring the bell, John. Dirty Honey.
I was thinking the same thing.
I didn't say
I'll tell you,
Dirty
the only-
Spooge. The name is Dirty Spooge.
The only rap music I've ever listened to in my life is Eminem because I think he's really funny.
Yeah.
He is.
He's really funny. That one song he had where he had Triumph the Insult Dog in it. I keyed. Remember that song? He goes, it's about the Olsen sisters. You know that song?
I don't.
No, I don't.
Oh, he does a song about the Olsen sisters. He goes, oh, you look so good. He goes, and then he goes to a movie theater. He's watching it, and Pee Wee Herman's next to him, and they arrest him. And then he's just going, what is the thing? He goes, I've never seen an ass like that. It's the name of the song.
Really?
He goes, now you're getting older. I've never seen an ass like that.
So I'm filming an episode of my show it's upcoming. I sent it to my producer to proof it, and I'm doing baby back ribs. And on the back of baby back ribs there's a membrane you got to take off before you cook it. Right. So I'm sitting there in the episode and I'm like, you gotta take off this membrane. And I'm like, insane in the membrane, insane in the brain.
I have that on my music and on my music that when I go to the gym, because when I go to the gym, I get motivated by music. That's what made me think of it. And it's like the same thing. All I listen to is 70s, 80s, and 90 early, you know.
Well, so my producer goes, so I'm listening to you, I watch your show, it looks good. I go, but you got to be the only 63-year-old white guy who's actually singing Cypress Hill in a cooking show. I go, yeah, I think I am.
I'm sure of it.
And I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Cypress
Hill. Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
But no, it's because, like I said, I'm stuck in that same time warp. I mean, it's weird. It's like I just what's the first concert you ever went to?
Oh my God!
First concert I ever went to in my life was in 1968.
This is gonna be epic. It's John. It's gonna be.
This is 1968.
I saw Jesus Christ and the Apostles.
I saw a hot fucking tuna.
It was 1968, and it was at the Singer Bowl.
The Singer Bowl.
Singer Bowl.
That's where the Singer Bowl. That's where they used to do the tennis competitions in Forest Hills.
God, I don't even know what that is.
And anyway, and it was a beautiful little stadium, outdoors, and the concert was $6.
Herman's Hermits.
I saw Beethoven. $6.
The opening act. The opening act was a group called the Soft Machine. All right, you guys you're gonna miss out on a great story.
Come on, the Soft Machine.
Right. The Soft
ring
Machine
the bell. Ring the bell.
The Soft Machine was the house band of the Fillmore East. and they were amazing. So they were the opening act while people were coming in. The first act was Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company.
Jesus Christ.
The second act was the Chambers Brothers, who were really like the headliners.
Wow.
And the third act was Jimi Hendrix.
Man, I fucking hate you, John.
And this was how Jimi Hendrix opened the show. He comes walking out and he goes, "On the first day, God created the universe." He goes, "On the second day, he created the stars. On the third day, he created the heavens. On the fifth day," and he goes to the whole thing, and he goes, "And on the seventh day, he rested." And it's like really big pause. He goes, "Because on the eighth day, the day that was so bad, he didn't even record it. He created Jimmy, and the world was a better place." The place.
No, really, a little ego there, man.
Well, what was your first day, Mike? What was your first?
Oh man, it's so opposite of
and
what
show
you would
John
expect.
that you can and make it more impressive than John's. Go ahead.
It's so opposite than what anyone would expect. My first concert was Todd Rundgren. Everyone's always thinking like,
what was his big
Sabbath?
What was his big hit?
Hello, it's me. I've been around for a long
a rock star named Todd. Come on, that's pretty good.
You know what though? But Todd, he
was put on a good show. I think
he was like a teenager. I think when he started writing music, he's written tons and tons of
hits.
Dude,
he was big with Meatloaf in that Bat Out of Hell album.
That's right. He produced. I think he produced Bat Out of Hell. Yeah. But no.
What was yours, Craig?
Chicago. I just saw Chicago on the Chicago 10 tour. They were really, really good.
Did you see them in Chicago?
I used to be
Nassau Coliseum, man. Best place to see his concert.
I don't want to trump you, but I was their opening act for like 2 years.
Wow. Fucking John.
But not back in the day when they had Terry Cass?
No. Yeah. In fact, when I was the opening act, it was like opening for a bunch of impressionists. It was like, I think there was only one original guy or two original guys, and everyone else the concert sounded exactly like, the old Chicago, but it was like guys doing impressions of the original guys. And then we did Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and Chicago. I did that.
But the thing is, Terry Kath, man,
we can't compete with John. We just can't compete.
No, he can't. But Terry Kath was so cool.
I could be like, I played guitar for Black Sabbath, when Tony Iommi was sick, and I fucking, like Tony broke his arm, and so they pointed. John Ferrantino happened to be in the audience, and so we
all right. So my other big concert moment is I saw
he was at Woodstock. This fucking
wait.
guy.
I saw the Who do the Tommy album for the first time in America in the Stony Brook Gym.
Oh, I love Tommy.
In the second row. My other big moment is I saw Tina Turner open for the Rolling Stones at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
And then I saw Tina Turner open for Rod Stewart.
Right.
Rod Stewart concert was amazing.
Patty loves Rod Stewart. She saw him. But I saw the Who. I saw the Who in Shea Stadium. And let me tell you, the Clash opened for the Who, right? So Shea Stadium, the planes go right overhead.
Oh yeah.
So the Clash is playing, and you hear the planes. Okay. All of a sudden, the Who goes on, and you fucking hear one plane. They were so loud, you didn't hear a fucking plane. You didn't hear nothing, man.
The planes are afraid to come over.
No shit. I'm sure the sound vibrations.
So can you imagine what it was like in the Stony Brook Gym?
They played in the gym. Look at John. He's got all, matter of fact, man, I fucking smoked a joint with fucking with Roger Daltrey, man. Fucking John.
So is that the loudest concert you went to, the Who at Shea Stadium?
Oh, without a doubt. And that was outdoor. Like I say, imagine seeing it like John said, imagine seeing them indoors, man.
What was your loudest one, John? It had to be like,
I think it was probably the Who.
Okay, mine.
Who
I never saw the Who, but my loudest one was
in a gym. The other one that was really loud was the Cars.
Really?
Well, I
saw them in a classroom in Albany.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I saw them in a
fish tank in the physics lab.
It
was
10 years after in the Cars.
You saw 10 years after. Yeah, that was all these incredible bands. So you're like I say, you're slightly older than us, so you got to see those incredible 60s guys that were They were still, some of them were still around when I was going to concerts, but I was more into the
And do you know
Black
what is
Sabbath and
you know
Jethro
what
Tull,
is
Pink
that
Floyd.
building that's still up from the World's Fair?
Oh,
The exposition building.
I know it looks
Hall
like
of Science. The Hall of
the-
Science.
is that
Isn't
the
it?
one that's like circular?
No, that's not a
Are
building.
you talking
That's
about the one with the flying saucers on top?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but
I don't know.
some
Well, anyway,
observatory.
I saw Led Zeppelin there, right? And we got there and it was sold out. So a friend of mine says, if we put our back against the pillar, we can walk straight up and go over the top of the wall. Like Spider-Man.
Right.
And did
So
you?
I go, I'm not doing that, right? So we've managed to scalp 2 tickets and we were up in that row. And next thing we know, some guy comes walking up, with his back against the wall, walked away. And it's like 5 stories.
Yeah.
And he climbed over the top. And I just remember this guy next to me just looks at me and he goes, dude, nothing stops a speed freak. I was like,
Well,
and then, okay, this is a great Jimi Hendrix story, right? And I have nothing to do with this, but I read this. So I think I told you guys offline. So Jimi Hendrix was playing at the Fillmore East, and at the time he was just the most incredible guitar player in the world. So at the end of every show, he would do he'd go fire, and he'd get down on his knees with a lighter fluid, and he'd light his guitar on fire, and then he'd take it and ram it through all the amplifiers, and like the Who would wreck everything when they were done.
Right.
And he would just run.
But you were there, so who was first? Who started destroying their equipment first, the Who or Hendrix?
I don't know. I mean, there were different countries.
The Who says in their song that they started that. We were the first band to
they did it on the Smothers Brothers. They destroyed their stuff once.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know, but I mean, Hendrix was just like crazy. So he did the whole show and he walked off, and Bill Graham comes up to him and says, he owned the Fillmore, and says, I cannot believe that you do that. You've just cheapened yourself. And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, you're the best guitar player in the entire universe. You don't need those cheap theatrics. It's ridiculous.
Right.
And he goes, point well taken. So the next show starts, and he just apparently the best. It's a recorded live album. It's called Hendrix at the Fillmore, and they say it's the best guitar playing anyone's ever done.
Right.
And he walks off stage, and Bill Graham goes, "See, that's what I'm talking about. You don't need all that cheap stuff." And he goes, "Really? 1, 2, 3." Runs back out, sets his guitar on fire, wrecks all the equipment.
Oh man!
Well, so I have no stories that compare with John, but I will say this: in 1998, I was a featured extra on Saturday Night Live, and they had me. It took place in a hospital room, so they had me in pajamas and my hand in a fake cast. So I'm walking around before the show goes on the air, and the guest was P. Diddy and Robert Plant. And I'm walking down the hallway, and Robert Plant sticks his head out of the dressing room where he's at. I think he was getting really high. I don't know. And he goes, hurt your arm, huh? Or whatever he said. And I went, and I totally geeked out. I went, no, it's actually not hurt at all. This is actually a costume for the sketch we're doing. And he went, yeah, I know. And I was like, oh man.
In other words, Robert Plant called you a dick.
Right.
No, I proved to him that I was a dick.
There you go.
I did, yeah.
Oh
So, do you guys know who John Gilmore is, right?
Yeah, it was he had those girls, the Gilmore Girls.
No, he's the head guy in Pink Floyd.
No, it's not John Gilmore. It's
I know, but
David Gilmore?
David Gilmore. It's David Gilmore.
So I'm riding. So this is so name dropping, but
it was like the most amazing fucking musician.
So I'm drop a name. Hold on.
I'm riding in the tour bus with David
Frank.
Crosby.
Is the name Frank?
I'm riding in the tour bus with David Crosby and Graham Nash, and they're all sleeping.
Yeah.
And I get up,
and Jesus is over here.
We had a phone. we had like a. It was a cell phone, but it was like on a a house phone. Like
I turned to Napoleon and say.
So if the phone's ringing, I pick it up and I hear, "Hi, is Graham Nash there? This is David Gilmore."
Wow.
I go. Now I feel like I should be an undercover writer for Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
And I go, "No, Graham's sleeping right now." He goes, "Oh, that's all right. Just tell him it's David Cullen, and I just wanted to say hi."
That's one of the best movies ever, by the way.
So he comes back, Graham, and I go, "Hey, David Gilmore called." And Graham calls him, and I guess he was going through a divorce. And he answered the phone, and he went, "Welcome to the Hotel of Broken Dreams." and I see Graham take out a pen and write it down.
Wow.
4 hours later, he went in the back and came out with a song.
Oh my God.
Yeah, these guys are fucking John. He's been fit for everything. I'm one day when I hear John, he's gonna be like, so I'm on a bus, right? And like, okay, Jesus is here, and President Nixon is right over here, and we're rolling along, and all of a sudden we see hitchhiking is,
Ho Chi Minh. It's Ho Chi Minh.
All right, here's another road story that you'll love. So we land in Miami. We fly from Boston to Miami.
We
land in Miami.
You mean Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Ferentino?
Right. And so we land in Miami because, God forbid, they should ride in the bus for more than 6 or 7 hours.
Right.
We fly, the bus picks us up. So we're standing outside waiting for the bus to show up. And all of a sudden, this little girl, she's like 14, comes running out and goes to Graham. Oh my God, it's you. My mother is going to freak out. My mother's getting the luggage. Please don't go anywhere. I got introduced to my mother. This will be the highlight of her life. So Graham being the nicest guy in the world, and we've had him on the show. He can't be any nicer. So Graham goes, I guess we got to wait. And the bus pulls up, and he's waiting. And I'm waiting with him, like pseudo security. And all of a sudden, the girl comes running back with the mom. She goes, Mom, it's him. Look, it's him. Look, Mom, Tony Orlando.
No, come on.
See, now I got to tell a cool story of
Wait. So every theater we went to after that, I would find the picture of Tony Orlando and take it off the wall and hang it on Graham's dressing room.
That's great.
Wow. So here,
Tony
man.
Orlando.
So I'm doing a gig in Lake Apatcong, New Jersey,
Right.
and
Jesus walks up to you,
and I'm with Max DiCelli. Okay,
right. That's a big name.
And we had a great show. And then after the first show, they came up to us and they said, "You guys were good. You can have anything free off the kids menu." There you see, cool shit happens to us too, John. Okay, you're not the only one who got cool shit happen.
Do you ever think that maybe John really didn't do all this? He just had really good drugs in the 60s? You think
that could be, man?
First time I ever met David Nastar, right? First time I ever met David, who's also been on the show.
Another friend of the show.
He first time I ever met him, he had just gotten off the road doing comedy clubs forever. And my manager goes, "You're going to meet David." He goes, "Why don't you guys go out to dinner and meet each other?" Because we were getting ready to do the Coors Light Comedy Commando tour. Right. And so we're sitting there and we got menus. And the waitress comes up and she goes, "Can I take your order?" And Dave opens the menu and goes, "What can't we have on the menu?"
You remember those, man? Because they'd always go like that. They always go, "You guys can have this, but you can't order that."
I laughed so hard.
They make you feel so fucking important. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you can.
What can't I have on the menu? You can
have the sliders, but don't order a big hamburger.
You know a comic named Todd Frank?
No.
Todd Frank.
We it was me, Rob Gray, and Todd Frank were doing Wilkes Bar Comedy Club, and I believe it was Todd. If I have this wrong, forgive me. But he was really indignant that we weren't getting food, and he refused to go on. He came up to me and Rob goes, "Listen, we're going to refuse to go on until they give us dinner." And there was 2 shows. It was one night. It was only one night, or Saturday night. And Rob and I are like, "What the hell is going on?" So the owner comes up to us a little bit later. And he goes, "So, Mr. Frank informs us that you guys aren't going to go on unless you get free dinner." And Rob and I look at it. He says, "No, we didn't say that. We'll go on. There's no problem." He goes, "Great." He goes, "Todd, you can't get any food, okay?" He goes, "Craig and Rob, you can eat on me." So that was great. That was fun.
See, John, good shit happens to us on the road.
See, I'm name drop. Tom Frank.
And
boom.
Then Wayne Newton walked in, man, and we sang together. Yeah. Then we hitchhiked to Vegas. Me and Wayne.
I mean,
John, you know what? Last night, Tom Hanks. Hanks. I watched a Tom Hanks movie. There you go.
I smoked Angel Dust with Tom Hanks, man. Or I think I smoked Angel Dust, and the guy next to me turned into Tom Hanks.
Well, look. Let's put it this way: when you're touring with rock legends,
oh my God,
no, I'm serious. When you're touring with rock legends, they're all friends. No, what I'm saying, they're all friends.
John, do you have any Grey Poupon?
No, just shut up. Listen. What I'm saying is,
when you're legendary like me, then someday you'll have a story to tell.
Their whole scene is like the comedy scene. They all know each other, right? They all know each other. So, Yeah, I mean, like I went to David Crosby's bachelor. I went to David Bachelor's party. We had a roast for him, and they told me that I'd be going on after Howard Hessman and before Jackson Brown.
You know what was funny? You know, you
I
skipped
once
over.
threw up. I once threw up on a bus Jackson Brown had been on.
There you go. But John, you mentioned something that you skipped over before when you were talking about Graham Nash and the Tony Orlando woman. You said, I was like security, quasi security. I'm thinking, can you imagine a magician as a security guard? That's really pretty a funny thing. It's like, what can you do? You can't disarm the guy. You just make his pants disappear or something like
I
that.
know.
Well,
It's like,
John's a pretty big guy, though. I mean, he's not a small little John.
I'm sure.
How tall are you, John? You're like 6'1",
I'm
6'2",
6 foot.
6
Yeah,
foot.
I'm not saying you can't handle yourself, but if you're a
I
magician
can't
and a
handle. I
security
can't. I'm
guard,
telling you right now, I can't handle myself.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, John,
I got beat up once by the school bully. I mean, I was the bully, and I got beat
Wait,
up.
I want to clarify something first. You're Italian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't know a guy.
I never met an Italian guy who couldn't fight.
Well,
I
never
fight.
had to. My problem was I never had to fight.
I can't fight either, Mike. But I didn't find out.
Are you kidding?
3 weeks
My
ago.
father made sure I could fight because he'd kick my ass. I remember when you were a kid, this was the thing. Is I got in, some kid bullied me and whatever. I was a little kid. And my father said, "You're going to go fight that guy or I'm going to kick your ass." So it was like, okay, who do I fear more? If I fear my father more, I'm going to go. And I beat the shit out of this bully. And ever since then, I became the bully.
No, I just think the magician as a security guard would be intense. Like he's like, I'm going to beat the hell out of Graham Nash. Oh yeah, watch me pull this rope through my body. And the guy's like, okay, I give up. I give up.
Diversion. It's diversion. You hit the guy while you're making the fucking, the egg disappear.
When I was in high school, there was a guy named Steve Levine, who was kind of like
still dropping names. Steve Levine.
Yeah, he produced MASH and
no, he was like kind of this nerdy guy, and he had like a little beard that came out of the middle of his neck, like a goat.
Right.
And
like
he
a
was
lizard.
He was just weird.
That sounds weird.
He was sort of like the butt of every joke. You know what I mean? And so one day we were in this art class, and it was not intentional. But I picked up this paint and I went to carry it across, and some spilt on his painting or whatever it was. And he was like, "Why'd you do that?" And I go, "Why'd he do what?" And he goes, "You ruined my painting on purpose." And I go, "No, I didn't." And he pushed me and I shoved him. And I went outside after school, right? So wait. So this is this nerdy guy. So I'm telling everybody, yeah, I'm fighting Steve Levine after school, right? Which is the stupidest thing. 5 hours later, you're not even mad anymore. It's just ridiculous. Right. You know what I mean? So we go out, and it's across the street at the 7-Eleven where all the fights took place, right? So I got all
and Graham Nash walked over.
I got all the guys from the football team, all my friends, everyone's there, all my surfing buddies. And he's like, "Let's go," right? And he's like, so I come up, I punch him right in the face. Right. And he went insane. He went, "Oh!" and just ran, grabbed me like a bear, threw me down on the ground, and started packing my face in.
You got the shit kicked out of you by Steve Levine.
I got the shit kicked out of me. Everyone decided later that everyone ever picked on him for his entire life. I got the wrath of it.
Yeah, you did. I've done that.
So you were Ralphie. You were like Ralphie. Yeah, he was like Ralphie in the fucking Christmas Story, and he just beat the shit out of you.
Yes. And then I woke up the next morning, and my face was all swollen and red. And I was like, I can't go to school like this. Then I go, but if I don't go to school, it's going to be worse.
Yep.
So I went to school, and it wasn't as bad. Everyone's going, did you ever see like people that are crazy, like they can lift a car? Like when they're insane, they go, "That's what he did." They go, "That was insane." And I was like, yeah. So I went to my high school reunion 50 years later, and I was fearing seeing him just because.
You were still afraid of Steve Levine?
No, not afraid, but just not the whole story came back. But I found out he was dead.
Oh,
wow. Man. He went crazy on somebody else.
I'll tell you a story. This guy named Steve Vanzetti was in my high school, and something happened where I said something, a wise ass remark, and he stood up in the middle of class and goes, "I'm gonna fucking kill you later." And everybody go, because his father was supposedly connected, and he anyway. So he challenged me to this big fight by the cafeteria, and I was gonna run. There's no way I'm gonna fight this guy. And I'm in the cafeteria. My friend's like, no, you got to stay. You got to stay. He's coming. You got to find him. Come on. And they wanted to see me find him. I'm like, no, I'm not going to find him. I'm not. And I said, screw it. I went to go out the door. You remember how the doors used to, like, they were.
And you hit him with the door and you knocked him out, right?
No, I pushed the door really hard and he was coming in at the same time. There was no window. I broke his nose.
Hey,
the door opens, there's blood all over the floor. He said, "Oh my God."
He was no Steve Levine. Let me tell you something. Steve Levine would have fucked
and
you
I
up.
ran, right? And I was like telling everybody, don't tell him it was me. Don't tell him I did the door. Don't tell him. And
if Steve Levine wasn't dead, man, he'd be kicking your ass right now.
So I didn't get beat up that day. And oddly, I don't think he found out that I was the guy who pushed the door into him.
Well, oddly enough, man, when I was bullied as a kid, it was by a girl.
What?
What a tomboy. She's the sweetest thing now. I'm friends with her still to this day. I'm not.
Julia Roberts, right? That's who.
But she was tough, man. She was tough. She'd kick your ass, man, without a fucking thing, And I was scared. I was scared of her.
How old were you?
Oh, when my son Johnny
we were like 8, 9, 10, whatever we were.
Okay.
But when my son Johnny was growing up, there was a girl in our neighborhood, Jenna. And she used to, at one point, her mother wanted her to be a beauty queen, and she won all these contests. She was a beautiful little girl,
Right.
and she had a blonde ponytail like down to her butt.
Oh no!
And she was the quarterback on our football team, the flag football team.
Wow!
And
would you see flag?
Yeah, flag.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
And she would take the ponytail and she'd put it in her hair, put it underneath her baseball hat. And like when you're 9 or 10, she get a pass for
John,
a boy.
I did. Oh, this was when your son was young, not when you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember she would they would rush her and she would throw like a 30-yard pass.
Right.
And the guy would be like in her face, and she'd just pull off her hat and shake out her hair and go, "You were schooled by a girl."
The Jets are interested. Can you give her phone number to the Jets, please?
It was great.
What's that league, man? I see commercials. I've never seen. You know me. I'm not a big football
Flag
or whatever.
football?
But it's women.
Girls.
They're like in bikinis and stuff playing.
Oh yeah, it's
football.
the lingerie football league.
Oh my God! Is that actually? I mean, is it popular?
Yeah, no, it's not real. It's like that other football that Johnny and I used to have season tickets to. Arena football.
Arena football, yeah.
But it's interesting because the chicks are hot.
But from the clips I've seen, they can
They're
actually
pretty brutal. They're pretty brutal.
Play, and they really beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
Never seen an arena football game. Never. I was a sports.
I'll tell you, the arena football game.
One.
Okay, so the only difference in an arena football game is it's a much shorter field. It's only 60 yards, and they have a net in between the uprights of the field goal.
Right.
And then when you kick a field goal and the ball hits the net, it comes back out into play.
Oh, that's cool.
So what's the point of arena football? I mean, there's real football. Why are they playing arena football?
It's a faster. It's a different season. It's like when regular football ends for people that can't get enough football.
So if you can't get enough football, you got arena football. You got lingerie football. What other footballs we got?
Flag football.
Flag. Well, ring the bell.
You see flag?
Football.
You see flag?
Flag
Okay.
Football for the kids. For the mothers that won't let their kids play real football.
You know that I'm going somewhere with this. Do you ever notice there's no such
we know you are.
There's no gay football. You would think there'd be a gay football. There's gay bowling leagues. There's gay softball. There's no gay football.
There's no gay.
Yeah,
Come on, guys.
Have you noticed that? I mean, maybe it's just me.
Because everyone wants to be a tight end.
No.
or a wide receiver. Thank you, Bob
receiver.
Nelson. Thank you, Bob Nelson. No, I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I play fantasy football. No, of course, what's that?
Is it the same thing?
No, all my players are naked, but hell, it's my fantasy. So there you go. Thank you very much.
I don't do any of that stuff, man. Not the sports guy. Like I said, for me, it's only like I'll watch MMA. Because I just love watching people beat the fucking
Chuck
shit.
Liddell was in my car. Chuck Liddell.
I
hate watching AMA.
The Iceman, Chuck Liddell.
I really hate
it.
Yeah, I hate it. I just think it's so.
I don't know.
Brutal.
You know what it is, but that's what I love about it. I don't know what it. It's like. I guess that's the sick part of me, because it's like the more they beat a guy, the more I want to go fucking just mush his fucking face. And I love that shit. I don't know what it is.
Mike, that's how Mike gets his therapy out. That's where
you're fucking demented. That's how.
Well, MMA is just like boxing, only better.
No, it's like boxing. Boxing's pretty brutal too, you know.
Yeah, but it takes longer.
I went to a fight as Don King's guest.
Come on. Holy shit.
as part of his entourage.
Oh man.
I swear to
I
You
God.
know, we could name drop too, John. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, that's it.
No, but listen, this is a true story. I was working Caroline's on 8th Avenue, and Don King was in the audience, and I called him up on stage, and I look at him and I go, "So, Don, the question in everybody's mind is, does the word hairbrush mean anything to you?" And he gets this huge laugh, and anyway, he invited me to his fight, and we flew in Neil Hirsch's private jet. So we get there, and I went with Letterman, and
You know, John,
I guess I
I'm
have.
personal friends with Joe Schmidt.
I
Okay.
guess I
Joe Schmidt.
have had a pretty charmed
Hey,
life.
Dennis
But anyway-
Franz.
But anyway,
Dennis Franz called Michael an asshole.
I know.
There you go.
No,
But I
no,
sat in the front row of a boxing match, a heavyweight boxing match,
yeah.
and man, it is nothing when you watch it on TV.
Well, I remember when me
It
and
is-
Winston
it
Churchill
is-
went to
No, listen, no, I'm
boxing
serious.
match, and you know, it was a
I'm
win,
making-
win with Winnie, without Winnie.
I'm making a point here. When you get sit in front row of a heavyweight boxing match, like,
Right.
when you watch it on TV, when that guy gets punched in the
You
stomach,
get some
here,
spit in the face.
you hear, "Oh!" I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah, of course it's brutal.
It's
That's
not
the
like
point.
when you see it on TV. It's like so sterile, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the point. The point.
Hockey's the
not only
same
that,
way, dude.
I love when they
Hockey's the
show.
same
I
way.
love when
Oh,
they
yeah.
show a hit in slow motion. You hit a guy, and you see the sweat. This fucking just
Oh.
shoots. Though you know the people in the first few rows are getting
You
fucking.
get soaked.
you're
It's
getting
disgusting.
spit.
It's like
sweat
it's like a
and blood.
Gallagher concert.
That's it.
It's gross. But
No,
I
it's
forgot about it.
you know, it's yeah.
Well, it's.
I can imagine what you're gonna. I'm gonna imagine what you're gonna name this show.
Oh, I know what I'm naming it.
Titties and beer. Well,
Titties and beer.
welcome to titties
Yeah,
and beer.
I would ever put titties. Never mind.
You got your own
I hate
set.
that one.
I'm trying to think of who I could name drop too. I really could, but I don't. You know why? Because I don't know anyone. That's why.
That's right. There you go. That's it.
So the last cartoon.
You
I
guys
went
don't
to-
know Frank Thompson, good friend of mine.
I
Good
don't know.
friend. He's just
You
an
don't know
average
Jeff
guy, but-
Kirshner, do you?
No,
No,
hey.
no relation to Don. Sorry, no.
The last cartoon I went to was Barry Manilow
There you go.
in Vegas.
And you went there as a friend of whatever, and Barry
the
sang to you.
Seagulls. I went as friends of the Seagulls and they private
And
Who are
that,
they?
and
Who
I
are-
sang a
who
song
are
I
dedicated
went
to
to
you.
Vegas with my
We're
daughter
billionaires.
in their private jet.
On their private jet.
He named Mandy after you. That was the he sang.
And,
Okay, so Craig, the name of this episode is Grandiose.
Adios.
so anyway, yeah, the Barry Manilow concert was amazing. Yeah, it was
Right.
really amazing. I really wanted to go for the private jet and to hang out with my daughter for the weekend.
Tell the
But when I
truth though,
went-
before you went, you didn't know any of his music.
I know all
I knew
of his
lots of music.
How could you
I mean,
not
a lot
know
of
his
it.
music?
However, while I was there, I was amazed at how many other songs that I forgot he did.
Right.
It was like every song you
I
ever heard in your
can't
life.
smile without you.
And we were in the second row center, and he has the whole backdrop of the stage was like a big karaoke thing with a bouncing ball, so everyone would
That's
sing. with it.
great.
It was
You
really
know, my
cool.
favorite Barry Manilow song is "I Am Stuck on Band-Aid Brand."
Yeah, that was his
but
first
you know what
song.
though? How old
that?
is Barry Manilow? I
81.
mean,
81.
he's 81. Did he
Same age
sound?
as Mick Jagger.
Did he sound?
He sounded great. He sounded
Really?
great.
His voice is like velvet. I always
But
like.
some guys-
He's very, very skinny. I mean, Chris saw the pictures and said, "I just want to feed him."
Right. I just want to feed him.
But yeah, he's very, very skinny. But God, what an entertainer! I mean, amazing.
I write
What
the
is- that's like
songs
that
that
Goodfellas.
make
What an
the young
entertainer, let me
girls
tell you.
cream. I
And
write the
I
songs.
saw my last concert was Cyndi Lauper at the Hollywood Bowl.
Well, here's the question. What's the concert you always
Nobody
wanted
gives
to
a
see?
shit. Well, thank you,
Yeah,
Greg.
no.
I was just
Thank
trying
you
to
for throwing
think
that
of
out there, Greg, but nobody gives
I was
a
just
shit.
trying to think of something funny to say.
Yeah, no, she was on her psoriasis tour.
Oh man, she actually got stung by a bee while she was singing.
Really?
She stepped on it
Really?
and stung on, and she spent 20 minutes taking the bee stinger out of her foot. And
That's
I'm like,
something.
that's a great concert.
There you go.
This is time I'll never
Wrote a
get back.
song about it. Want to hear it? No,
I knew the beat.
I knew the John. Me and Graham Nash we used to hang out with that B. Yeah, she and Crosby. That B was at that B was at David Crosby's bachelor party.
That bee stung Peter Frampton when I was at a party with Graham Nash, and I think it was I don't know.
So no, wait. What I was going to say is, so what's the concert you always wanted to see but you never got to
That's
see?
easy. That's really easy.
For me, it was. Go ahead, John. What is?
You go. I always wanted to see Elton John. I never saw him.
I've seen Elton John 3 times, man. Amazing concert. Amazing.
I can imagine, yeah.
I saw him one time in a double concert with Eric Clapton because he had a song with the Clapton. Yes. They did a song together. And so then you saw the concert and it was like, I think it was Elton John and then Clapton. And then we saw him a couple times and amazing. But the one I always wanted to see, the main one, there's a lot, but if the main one, it was Pink Floyd. I always want to see Pink Floyd.
Yeah. So did I.
And I didn't get to see Pink Floyd.
I always wanted to see Billy Joel.
You can still do that. He's still playing. I mean,
I know. I want to see him.
I saw Billy Joel 100 times.
Patty went to see him when she was in New York, and my brother went. It's like, he had that residency.
What's your favorite concert?
I was going out with this girl in high school, who her father owned the first.
Farrah Fawcett Mages was her name.
Her father owned.
It was only Farrah Fawcett at that time.
Her father owned the first teen dance club, I guess.
Right.
And the house band was
Billy
Joel.
Joel.
And the Hassles.
Well, he was from Long Island. My cousin used to see him. They used to.
I was his ice cream man.
He used to play the clam bar.
That sounds so sketchy. I was ice cream.
I was the ice cream man on his route.
The ice cream man. But,
what was the concert? What was your favorite concert you ever went to? I know John's easily.
I'm trying to remember because I was pretty wasted for most of them. But I think my, let's see, favorite. I think it would have to be Black Sabbath.
Ooh, a good one.
Yeah, Black Sabbath. I mean, it was. I remember smoke rising from the stage and crosses coming up and shit, and then music.
That's when Kiss. That's when I would love to see. I'd like to see. Kiss.
I loved Kiss when I was a kid. I never saw them in concert either.
But what's your favorite, John? I'm guessing it's Woodstock.
Saturday Night Woodstock, yeah.
My favorite was at the Jones Beach Theater. It was Van Halen. I loved it. It was with.
I saw an interview once with Van Halen that was just the funniest. David Lee Roth. He goes, "Yeah, I used to have a drug problem, but I don't anymore because I'm rich."
The problem was I couldn't afford my drugs, and now I can.
I didn't see David Lee Roth. I saw I can't think of his name. Who's the other singer for Van Halen? Oh God.
You know who was fun too? I saw Charlie Daniels band. Charlie Daniels was a fun concert.
I love Charlie Daniels. I saw
Charlie
him.
Daniels, yeah.
You know, it was a great concert too. It was Tina Turner.
Never saw
Tina Turner had that band. Oh my God, when she sang.
He dated Tina Turner.
Proud Mary.
No. Way after that.
Private Dancer.
Private Dancer. Yeah, the Private Dancer tour was amazing.
I saw Charlie Daniels with the Pure Prairie League and the Outlaws. It was a great concert.
Oh man, that sounds like a good one. I
saw
the Allman Brothers were good.
When Steve Martin first started, he was the opening act for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yep.
Right.
And then once he became huge, he had the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band open for him.
What was the Nitty Gritty? What was their big hits? I'm trying to think. I know the name.
I pulled into Nazareth.
No, that was the band.
Yeah, but they did that same song.
And Reminisce, isn't that them? No, that's the other. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that was the big joke. When I'd say to David, I go, just remember, if I get really big, I may have to hire you guys to open for me. And he said, "Let me tell you something, John. Before that happens, I'm going to put a fucking bullet in my head."
Wow.
So Crosby really believed in you because I'll put a bullet in my head.
But just the way he said, he goes, "Nah, I'll put a bullet in my head before that happens."
Wow.
I just saw David Crosby on a rerun of Roseanne.
Who?
David Crosby was on Roseanne.
Seriously?
Yeah, he played the husband of a waitress that she worked with, and they actually sang a duet.
Really? Oh my God! With his great voice and her,
No, not Roseanne. The waitress, another character in the show who could sing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't Roseanne and
I
David.
was gonna say I can imagine Roseanne and David Crosby fucking doing it,
And Goodman and John Goodman can really sing. He actually sang with the Blues Travelers.
Yeah, he's in the Blues Brothers.
He was great.
Yeah. The
That's
Blues
crazy.
Brothers, I would have loved to have seen
So
them.
this is what I never understood, right?
He
In
did it at Coliseum.
In 1966,
right.
when Janis Joplin came out on her band was Big Brother and the Holding
Company, right?
Okay, and the guys in her band in 1966 had hair past their shoulders.
Right.
Yeah.
What year did they start growing their hair? People didn't have hair that long. Think about when you see pictures of the Beatles in 1965. They had little hair over their ears.
Well,
Nobody had long hair like that.
No, but
Everybody
in
got
the,
Beatle
in the mid to early 60s, the dudes were already started. The whole hippie. When did the hippie stuff start?
Could have been wigs.
Yeah, but nobody had hair that long. I'm telling
Could've
you,
been wigs,
no
you
one
know,
had
John.
hair that long.
Well, they did.
Yeah, but no one can figure it out. That was the
somebody
mystery.
had to start it. Somebody had to start.
That was the mystery. Like people go, how can their hair be that long?
Speed.
Oh, my hair.
The Allman Brothers had long hair too. That was like the late 60s, early 70s, right?
Late 60s. I'm talking 66.
I'm trying to think of any. Didn't Herman's Hermits have long hair?
No, they had
Herman's Hermits were like nerdy looking dudes,
Who am I thinking of then?
weren't they?
Yeah,
Hi, I'm Herman. I'm Marvin the Martian.
because I'm the one.
Come back
John
here.
actually
Let
worked
me tell
with
you
Marvin the
something.
Martian.
Herman's Hermits, the only English band that sang with an English accent. Think about that.
Mrs. Brown. No, that was
and
actually
the
no. That
I
was,
am. And
wait, who did that song? You've got a lovely daughter.
Herman's Hermits.
That's okay then. Yeah.
And
And Henry VIII. Henry VIII.
Second verse. Yeah, that's the first. Yep.
I saw an interview with him once, and he was saying that was a total ad lib on the record. Second verse, same as the first, and
You know who I
they just left it in.
Yeah. You know who I want to see, and it may sound crazy, but I've always there's such incredible music. I always also wanted to see Electric Light Orchestra.
I love ELO.
Yeah.
And what's her name's Sarah Smile, they were huge,
Oh, I know you
the
mean
two guys,
Hall
Hall and Oates.
Yeah, Loggins and Messina were great.
All right,
too.
which concert did you go to that you'd be embarrassed to admit you went to?
I don't know if I went to any that I'd be embarrassed.
I did. I went to one that I'm not embarrassed I went to, but most people would make fun of me for it though.
Well, let's hear it.
Oh, I went to see Disco Explosion, also at the Jones Beach Theater with Gloria Gaynor, the Casey and the Sunshine Band, and the Village People. Who, by the way, the Village People had they had a totally different cast. They weren't the same.
Back in the 70s, I ate some bad tacos and had a disco explosion.
It's surprising. The concerts that surprised you the most was at Woodstock. Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh, I love Sly.
Were amazing.
Weren't the Monkees at Woodstock?
No, but Sly and the Family Stone were the only group like that actually understood like show business.
Well, John, were you there at the beginning of Woodstock? Like when because what was his name? The guy the first guy on was not scheduled to go on first, but the band that was scheduled. What's his name? The black amazing.
Richie Havens.
Richie Havens went on first, and he was, according to what I've heard of this in the documentary, he wasn't scheduled to go first, but somebody was late or something, and that's why he stretched out that song, and he just kept freedom. It's just incredible. Imagine going on in front of 1 million people and like not even scheduled going. You're going on before your scheduled time, and they're telling you to stretch it out. I mean, and he did such an incredible job.
Wait, there was some band that went on at Woodstock that was nerdy. Like you would never imagine they were at Woodstock. I thought it was like the Monkees, but that's it. That's it.
And they killed it. But the thing is, Sly and the Family Stone, they came on, they had costumes,
right?
They danced, you know what I mean? They were like most rock bands, they just stood there, you know what I mean? But then they started singing "I Want to Take You Higher," and he's going higher, and he had 400,000 people singing higher.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. It was just amazing. They were, and people that talk about it were always saying that they were the group that kind of changed it. People went, wow, we just can't stand there anymore. Like, you got to put on a show.
See, now that I'm thinking back, man, I've seen some incredible guys. I saw Bob Seger in concert. That was incredible. I saw Yes in concert.
Oh yes.
Or Emerson Lake and Palmer.
Yeah.
Right?
The
Doobie Brothers just played here not that long
I
ago.
love the Doobie Brothers.
Outside. Right in the Cocoa Village there. They quarter of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well,
Very
so
cool.
what have we learned today?
That John knows everybody and he hangs out with all kinds of celebrities and he's much better than us. And he's the man of high quality.
Wait.
John is the man of high quality.
When you talk about all these movie stars, it's just a different thing. Like, you guys know all these actors and stuff like that you've worked with. I don't know any of those people.
Yeah, but I mean, I carried their bag.
I just believe
but
that
we
it's
can't
like,
compare to you, John, because they were like, "Oh yeah, I actually did a scene with Bill Murray," and you're like, "Well, I had oral sex with Olivia Newton-John once. I remember that."
No, John's right. I mean, I did some cool stuff with these people, but it wasn't like it was work stuff. It wasn't like you're doing it on a friendly,
hanging out level. Man, that's different.
They're hanging out. I didn't smoke a joint with John Lithgow. I mean, I worked with him, but I didn't smoke a joint.
That would be awesome.
It would be high. But what I'm saying is, like, when Crosby, Stills, and Nash, because they were legends, people would come, like Bette Midler, and like, people would come because they're Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
If you build it.
And so you got to hang out with them, and you got to meet all these famous people. It wasn't like they were coming to see John Ferrantino.
Well,
Gregory Hines used to be there all the time.
Well, he's great.
And and it was just So I went to David.
You should write a book, John. You should write a book about all the celebrities.
Everyone always tells me
call it "Who's That?" That's what everyone said when they show up. They go, "Who's that?"
And by the way, we're way over time. But before we go, I do want to say something. I did share a cigarette with Brad Davis. So there you go. That's the guy from Midnight Express. If you don't know who he is,
no,
you don't know Brad Davis. Yeah, we had a cigarette.
I never saw Midnight Express.
We didn't share a cigarette. I gave him a cigarette. I didn't want. We weren't like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, the only celebrities that have hung out on a kind of friendly level is used to hang out with Tim Allen when we after the shows and things like that. And
also,
Billy Gardell has been a good personal friend for years. Clint Howard, guys like that. So yes, I do have celebrity.
We all have our connections, but John, we can't touch John.
No,
mine are all like music people, though.
No, well, but legendary music people. It's not like Hanson.
So in other words,
like legends.
So musicians love John, but other magicians can't stand him.
That's
true. True. They don't get it. They don't understand. Like, they go, "What do you do different than anybody else does? Why do you have this and I don't?"
Well, you know what it is?
I know we're having fun, but we're way over time. Just letting
comedy and the man, but I don't think people realize anymore. We'll end it, but I mean, John is an amazing magician. I think people think of you as a comedian, and they don't get that you're actually an incredible magician. So anyway, Mike. The time. Craig is trying to tell us we have to get off.
I'm lying. All right.
How far over are we?
But that's
about 10 minutes. It's all right.
Oh shit, we're
going into another holiday. It's all right.
That said, I gotta go. I gotta pick up Aaron Rodgers at the airport.
Yeah, man, I'm late to meet Raquel Welch. She's waiting for me. I gotta go. All right.
So anyway, we are the Big Bad Broadcast, and I think this was a really fun show today. You guys got to make fun of me, which is nice.
I'm depressed now.
We just put our toe in the ocean of the people that John knows.
I know. I feel so small.
It's not true. Meanwhile, the sick part is most of the famous people I'm meeting now are through my daughter.
No matter. Still happy.
Hey, whatever, man. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys. I gotta go. I gotta go because I'm going to see Graham Nash.
Oh my God.
Which is the truth. He actually is going to.
Which is actually the truth.
I'm going to blow a security guard at Walmart. See you later.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, we're the Big Bad Broadcast. We're here every Friday. New show drops. we have almost 100 shows. That one's coming up. The big
100's
100th
coming
show.
up. 2 more.
Maybe we can get Ray Romano for the 100th show. Pray
That
the
would be
strike
great,
ends.
man. Yeah, that would be
Go for it.
incredible.
The day before Thanksgiving. Gonna be tough, but we'll see.
Yeah, but we gotta wait the strike. He can't come out until it strikes.
That's right.
Well, you know what? We're only audio, so we can just do it with his. Hey, you can just do Ray. So
Hi, happy Thanksgiving.
yay! Now that the strike is over, I'm glad
He can't do that. He hates it when people do impressions of him. I didn't know that.
All right, everybody, say goodbye now.
All right, goodbye.
Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.
Fare thee well. Fare thee well.
Bye.